All right, let's talk about UFOs, or as we should probably call them now, UAPs. For decades, this stuff was pure sci-fi, right? Fringe talk. But something's changed. Now the conversation is happening in the halls of Congress. We're talking decorated military veterans making absolutely incredible claims under oath. So, what's going on? We're going to break it all down.
And really, it all comes down to moments like this. This quote from David Fravor. This guy is retired Navy commander, a top F-18 pilot. When he says the technology that we faced was far superior to anything that we had, you got to listen. He's not talking about something blurry in the sky. He's talking about a direct encounter with something that just broke the laws of physics as we know them. And it's testimony like that from highly trained, credible people that has completely changed the game.
Okay, so before we dive deep, let's get the terminology straight, because it actually matters a lot. You've probably noticed people in the government don't say UFO much anymore. The new term is UAP, Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena. And look, this isn't just them being bureaucratic. It's a really deliberate shift. It's meant to take away some of the stigma, the whole little green men thing. It also broadens the scope. We're not just talking about flying objects, but things in the sea, in space, and maybe most importantly, it's about making pilots feel like they can actually report this stuff without tanking their careers.
All right, so here's the plan for today. We've just touched on the UFO to UAP thing. Next, we're going to get into the whistleblowers who are really driving this whole conversation. Then, we'll dig into the jaw-dropping claims they're making about secret programs. After that, we'll see how the Pentagon is responding to all this. And finally, we'll look at why everyone from both sides of the aisle is suddenly demanding transparency.
So you might be asking, why is all of this happening now? What's the trigger? Well, it really comes down to three key people. These guys have incredible credentials, and they decided to step forward and go public, under oath. And that testimony, it forced a congressional hearing that pretty much everyone was talking about.
And let's be clear, these aren't just some random guys with a story. You've got David Grush, a highly decorated Air Force intelligence officer who is literally on the Pentagon's UAP task force. Then there's Ryan Graves, another F-18 pilot who says his squadron was seeing these things almost daily. And of course, David Fravor, the commander who engaged the now famous Tic Tac back in 2004. When these three men sit down and swear an oath, lawmakers, well, they have to sit up and pay attention.
And this is where the story goes from interesting to absolutely wild. Because what they talked about goes way beyond just seeing strange lights in the sky. We're talking secret programs, covert operations, honestly stuff that sounds like it was ripped from a Hollywood blockbuster.
Get a load of this name, Immaculate Constellation. According to reports from whistleblowers, this is the name of a super-secret Pentagon program. The story goes that it was set up back in 2017 with a very specific mission: to quietly pull together all the imagery and intel on UAPs from across the government, and, crucially, to do it all without Congress knowing.
But out of all the testimony, David Grush's was a bombshell. An absolute bombshell. He alleged, under oath, that the U.S. has been running a secret program for decades to find and reverse engineer crashed UAPs. And it gets crazier. He claimed they've recovered non-human biologics from these crash sites, and that there's an active, illegal cover-up to hide all of it from Congress and the public, a cover-up that he says has even hurt people to keep the secret.
And this right here, this is the quote that made everyone's jaw drop. Biologics came with some of these recoveries, non-human. That phrase, non-human biologics, was so precise, so deliberate. He didn't say aliens or bodies, but let's be real, everyone knew exactly what he was implying. That single phrase sent shockwaves through Washington and, frankly, around the world.
So it wasn't just about secret programs. The witnesses started describing a whole menagerie of these things they're seeing over and over. You've got the famous Tic Tac, right? The little white object that ran circles around F-18s. Then there are these metallic orbs seen zipping over the ocean in formation. There's even a jellyfish UAP spotted over Iraq, just casually moving against the wind. And Ryan Graves describes seeing a dark cube floating inside a transparent sphere. The one thing they all have in common? They do things that, according to our science, should be completely impossible.
Okay, so you've got these decorated officers making these mind-bending claims under oath. So what's the Pentagon side of the story? Well, as you can probably guess, the Department of Defense is telling a very different tale.
And this is really the heart of the whole issue. It's a classic standoff. In one corner, you have sworn testimony talking about secret crash retrieval programs, non-human biologics, the whole shebang. And in the other corner, you have the official government line.
The Pentagon's Special Office for this, ARAO, says flat out they found no credible evidence of anything extraterrestrial. They say they have no record of a program called Immaculate Constellation. They deny everything. Someone isn't telling the truth here.
So what is the official explanation? Well, URA's position is pretty straightforward. Most of these sightings are just mistakes. People are seeing drones, weather balloons, maybe even stray plastic bags. Now, they did admit to one interesting thing, a proposed program called Kona Blue, and its purpose? To reverse engineer alien tech. But they quickly add the program never actually started because, well, they never found any alien tech to work on.
So here's the really crucial part. Forget for a second whether you believe in aliens or secret programs. The bottom line is this. It doesn't matter if these are foreign drones or something from another dimension. For the first time, Washington is treating this as a dead serious issue. And it's not a partisan thing either. We're seeing Democrats and Republicans coming together on this.
And why is that? Why do they care so much all of a sudden? It really boils down to three things. First, national security. I mean, you have unidentified objects flying through our most sensitive military airspace whenever they want. That's a huge problem. Second, it's about plain old flight safety. Ryan Graves says pilots are seeing these things all the time. That's a disaster waiting to happen. And third, it's about transparency. Lawmakers are basically saying, hey, why are we being kept in the dark about this?
The good news is this isn't just talk. We're seeing real action. You've got Ryan Graves starting his own group, Americans for Safe Aerospace, which is all about giving pilots a safe way to report what they see. And on top of that, there's actual legislation being proposed, the Safe Airspace for Americans Act. The whole point is to create an official, secure channel for pilots to make these reports without getting punished for it.
And this quote from Congressman Tim Burchett, it really says it all. We're going to uncover the cover-up. He's one of the loudest voices on this in Congress, and that tells you everything you need to know about the mood. This isn't some fringe pet project anymore. This is a serious, bipartisan push to get to the bottom of things.
So where does that leave us? After all the sworn testimony, the flat-out denials from the Pentagon, and this new push for transparency, the big question is still hanging there. What are we actually dealing with? Is it super advanced drones from China or Russia? Is it proof of a massive, decades-long government conspiracy? Or is it something else entirely? We don't have the answers yet, but one thing's for sure, the demand for them is getting louder every single day.